Hey, what's up, Technobots? We have a review of the latest episode of Steven Universe, and it is Back to the Barn. And it's not that Nickelodeon thing. It's actually robots and gems and racism and standing up for yourself, all in 11-minute episode. Let's get right to it. I loved this episode. Like every second of it. I think this was a fantastic, perfect piece. Essentially, we have Peridot give a demonstration explaining to the gems what the cluster is and what the exact problem is. It's hilarious because Steven has prepared a little demonstration box model, which is fantastic, even with the puppet. It's amazing. Which definitely takes a little levity, considering this is like the most horrible thing ever. It's nice to see that Steven has kind of like put himself together about it. I know it was really upsetting to him earlier. Anyway, they decide that they need parts, so they go right back to the barn where Greg's lost uncle and I think it was a great uncle and aunt. They had airplane parts, all sorts of mechanical gizmos and stuff like that, where Pearl made the spaceship from Space Race. They decided to go back to that. I guess talking to the government is not on the table. I'm not sure why, but hey, it's the show. So they go, and Pearl shows Peridot the barn and what's needed, and explains that he can get started, but Peridot dismisses her, and like, not just like rudely dismisses her, like dismisses her, like, you can go. Get out of here. And is uncertain why she's not leaving. And we have like a complete theory confirmed right here. And this is one of the things I was hoping we'd see with Peridot being with the crystal gems, is gradually giving off information about how Homeworld is. And this was pretty like just off the cuff. And I have to say, this confirms the Pearl is part of a servant or slave race. And I love the fact that Peridot just throws it out there, like, really offhandedly. This is quite surprising to Steven. I'm sure this was not the way Pearl wanted to break this news to him. And, yeah, she says that, no, you're not going to order me around. And I like that scene, originally, with Peridot, because she's very condescending, she's very dismissive, she's very blatantly racist and classist about it. Like, you know, she doesn't even treat her like an equal. She thinks she's a thing. She calls her, you know, something that, you know, is a status symbol. Even asking, like, who owns her. And I don't think it's Martha Wayne. It was probably... I have a theory that she was probably Rose's, and Rose actually was the first to treat her like an equal, like an actual person, like an actual gem with the others, which is why the relationship started so deep. But I like that she snaps right back and says, you know, nobody owns me. So Steven decides to have a competition, and of course, being Steven, they decide to make robots, and we have this great robot Olympic thing, which has a number of great sight gags and is very funny, with, you know, the painting of Amethyst, throwing cars and not keeping track of which one went further, Pearl dropping the rock on her, it just, God, every sight gag in this episode is just gold. And until it comes down to the end, and they are even, they're equal. And of course, this bothers Peridot and not Pearl. She wants to get going now that, you know, they've settled it, and Peridot does not have, she doesn't want to have any of that. Because, yeah, keep in mind, the official contest, they came out even, equal. So that's when Peridot starts the fight. Pearl stands up to her, and man, what a great fight. And, you know, does her best, and there's this one moment where Peridot has her, like, right up to her, and almost repeats what Pearl repeated about herself in a dismissive way and friendship, that you're just a Pearl. And, you know, she says, I am a Pearl, and punches her, which is like, I literally shouted. I don't normally shout, get too emotional when I watch stuff, or make noises. You know, even when I'm really excited and love something, I'm very quiet because I'm, you know, taking it all in. This time was an exception. I really did shout out loud. This was fantastic. One of my favorite moments of easily season 2 and probably of the series. That was fantastic. We've seen character growth, and you know, that was one of the things in Friendship where Garnet told her, like, if you really want me to forgive you, if you really want to make amends, you need to show me that you are your own person, you are your own gem, and you're standing up for yourself. And yeah, this is her doing that. This is actually taking that thread from that episode and developing it. And it's been great because we watched episodes and episodes of Pearl really down on herself and really going into depths of how low she can go, even causing problems with the other gems. And now we've seen all that stuff just dig in and pay off finally, where now she has, like, taken ownership of who she is, which is wonderful. And it's capped off with that moment where she's defeated in the fight. Peridot thinks that, okay, by homeworld rules, this makes me in charge. And she kind of is, her worldview is really kind of shaken with that because they don't care. They care about Pearl as a person, and they love her. And she's just some asshole that just started working with them that they do not respect as much. And that moment is great when they help her up. And Amethyst, who is like always like, you know, made fun of Pearl, you know, is very, very supportive and holding on to her. Garnet tussles her hair, which is cute. I noticed that on the second viewing. And Steven gives this great little speech, like, no, you know, he keeps saying she's common Pearl, but I mean, look what she's done with herself. You know, she's amazing. You know, how dare you say that about her? And of course, this is confusing the Peridot, and Garnet says, welcome to Earth. It's like, you know, the rules are different here. And that's another thing, you know, a lot of people were theorizing, and I pretty much latched on to the Pearl servant race theory fairly early after it started gaining momentum, because it just made a lot of sense. I think a lot of people who theorized never even considered the fact that Pearls weren't even technically skilled. Yeah, it's obvious that they weren't fighters or warriors, but the fact that Pearl is a technician and a mechanic and scientifically genius is actually unusual for gems as well. They're basically trophy wives or trophy servants or slaves to look good, which is just, you know, heart-wrenching to think about how where she came from. And when you think about it, like that explains a lot of her behavior and a lot of, you know, what's in her psyche as far as, you know, how she's grown. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't gush about this episode enough. I think it was fantastic. Definitely one of my favorites. I just did a top 10 favorite episodes just a few videos ago, and like, you know, if I did that next week, this would have been in it. Well, you know, when I make an updated top 10 video list, this will definitely be in it. Love this episode. Highly recommend it if you're a Pearl fan, if you're a Peridot fan. Another thing about Peridot is this is where she really is going to start, you know, changing and having her outlook be affected, because yeah, it's obvious that there is a very prejudiced, bigoted class system going on in this world, and she just had it really she's just had some cracks, big major cracks go through it. So this is going to be an important this is not only an important episode for Pearl, but also an important episode for Peridot and her development. So as we see her continue, so maybe she won't betray the gems after all. Who knows? Go check this episode out. Highly recommend it. Loved it. And I think that's it for now. So push the button.